What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I really want to dive very deep into one of the best trinkets in the entire game, probably the best trinket in the game currently for melee and specifically for rogues. Now what I'm talking about is of course Jom Gabar. Of course there is Earth Strike as well, but Jom Gabar does give a lot more attack power, so I want to talk about pretty much how you can min-max your rotations so that you get the most out of using this trinket. You do want to use all of your cooldowns with the trinket so that you are doing the most DPS possible while you have the most attack power possible, but it also means that you need to make sure that your rotation is perfect so that you're getting off your big eviscerates or backstabs at the very end of the trinket, so when you have as much attack power as you can. Also, if you are swords, it changes up things because you can get 2 eviscerates off if you play this well, and you want to make sure that you get both eviscerates off, and you don't want to waste pretty much any of your GCDs while you're using this. Now to figure out exactly how to min-max and the perfect rotation for different situations for this trinket, I brought together my boys Aromit and GD, 2 of the biggest pumpers in the entire world, and we got together to practice the rotations and to figure this all out. So if you like this video, of course, make sure to like and subscribe, but also make sure to check out Aromit's channel, which is in the description right below, and like and subscribe there. He's going to be making a ton of content as well. But as always, let's get right into it, and I'm going to send you guys over to Aromit.
Hey guys, Aromit here. So yeah, I was super excited when I first got Jom Gabar early in phase 5 until I actually did my first raid with it. I had the general idea of it that I needed to coordinate my cooldowns at the right time to get the eviscerate off towards the end of the stacks. But when the raid time came, I was just all over the place. I found myself refreshing Slice and Dice in the middle of all the stacks. And then I realized there had to be a simpler way to use this trinket. So I spent a whole bunch of time in Dire Mall trying to figure out the best rotation that allowed me to somewhat min-max these stacks and get the most out of Jom Gabar because it's such an amazing trinket. But that's also when I figured out that boss kill times play a pretty big impact on how you actually use this trinket. So the kill times affect what trinket you're going to want to use with Jom Gabar as a combo, because depending on how fast your guild kills bosses, you either want to double trinket or not. So I found that the breakpoint is right around 40 seconds. So if the boss fight is less than 40 seconds, you'll want to use Jom Gabar with the passive trinket like DFT, Blackhand's Breath, or Hodge. And if it's longer than 40 seconds, then you'll want to combo Jom Gabar with another use trinket like Renataki's. So let's have Sarthe look at both of these scenarios for both daggers and swords.
So with daggers, your opening rotation doesn't change at all. Your initial opener is to get that 1-point slice and dice right after that first backstab. But if a fight is less than 30 seconds long, you're going to want to use Jom Gabar at about 3 seconds left on your slice and dice. That's when you're going to renew Slice and Dice and then use your big abilities like Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry. Now, this will time out Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry pretty much to be perfect with Jom Gabar itself, as well as time out that next Slice and Dice to be perfect with the end of Jom. From there, you're pretty much spamming backstab. You're trying to build up to this 5-point eviscerate. You can actually, with your Thistle Tea, get an extra backstab in at 9 or 10 stacks on Jom Gabar, so the most attack power possible, even if you're capped out on combo points, so that you can get that huge eviscerate off at 10 stacks. But you can get 2 GCDs off within one of these stacks of the trinket. So at 10 stacks, you can get 1 big backstab with your Thistle Tea and also a big eviscerate. Now right after this, your Slice and Dice will fall off for a second, but basically the fight is done. This was a 30-second fight and that's it. You have blown up the fight and you've actually utilized this trinket to the best of your ability. Next is a 40 or 45 second or longer version of the fight. And in this version of the fight, you actually want to use double Trinket if you have them, and I'm talking about Renataki and Jom Gabar. Renataki's puts all of your other unused trinkets on an only 10-second timer. It's perfect for building up a 4-point slice and dice, which gives you enough time to use Jom Gabar and all of your abilities to the point of, at the end of Jom Gabar, you'll actually still have slice and dice. So after getting your big slice and dice off, you're going to use your Jom Gabar, then you are going to use your Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry at about 2 to 3 stacks on Jom Gabar as usual, and this will let you build towards that big 5-point Eviscerate. You can pool a little bit of energy and get a 5-point Eviscerate off around 8 stacks of the Trinket, and then you still have your Thistle Tea, so you can get multiple backstabs off at the end of this. Also, this allows you to get a new Slice and Dice renewed, so you have 100% uptime on Slice and Dice if your fight is going to be a little longer than those 40 to 45 seconds. Next up is going to be Swords. And I actually was running sword spec this week, well, with fist weapon spec, and I realized that I was refreshing my own slice and dice a little bit in the middle of my Jom Gabar, and that's not ideal. So here is the actual breakdown of what you want to do for swords. Especially on a shorter fight, around 30 seconds long, you actually want to do pretty much a dagger opener. You're going to open with a 1-point slice and dice. Now this may be a little weird to do initially, but it is the best way to utilize the Trinket. So open with that 1-point slice and dice, and then again, wait till about 3 seconds left on slice and dice, and then you're gonna use your Jom Gabar. Next, you get your next big slice and dice off. This gives you time to get a 5-point Eviscerate off around 7 stacks, and another 5-point Eviscerate off around 9 or 10 stacks. So you get 2 huge Eviscerates off, especially with the tier 2.5 and the new talents that are talented into Eviscerates. This is a huge upgrade while you have these crazy amounts of stacks of Jom Gabar. And then last but not least is a fight about 40 seconds or longer, of course, with swords. Now this is another fight where you're gonna use double Trinket. So you can go to your standard sword opener, which is of course the 2-point Sinister Strike into a slice and dice. Then you're going to build combo points up to a 5-point slice and dice. And to do this, you do want to use Renataki's. So use Renataki's early also, so that your 10-second cooldown means that Jom Gabar is up as soon as you need it to. After getting up the 5-point slice and dice, you then can use your Adrenaline Rush and Blade Flurry once Jom is about 2 or 3 stacks. And this will also again allow you to get 2 Eviscerates off during this and not have to waste a global on slice and dice. So your first Eviscerate should be around 6 or 7 stacks, and your second one should be around 9 or 10 stacks. And again, this is also involving Thistle Tea, but this is giving you 2 massive Eviscerates during Jom Gabar while it's at high stacks, and this is really ideal for min-maxing and utilizing this Trinket to the most of your ability. Now I do realize it can be a little awkward to think about these things, so I would suggest kind of going over these multiple times or just kind of mastering one. Usually you would probably want to master the longer fights if in general you have fights that are longer than 30 seconds. Now with Jom Gabar at 10 stacks, we're seeing 5-point Eviscerates hit targets with no armored debuffs, and also we don't have any world buffs for about 1 to 200 extra damage. With your buffs and with your armor reduction on the mob, you are going to see that grow exponentially. So this Trinket is incredible, especially if you can utilize your rotation to make sure that you get 1, if you're daggers, or 2 huge finishers off on the mob or boss while this Trinket is in a high level of the stacks, and you have more attack power gain than anything else in the entire game. So that's pretty much it, guys. I really wanted to drive home the exact rotations or when you wanted to be using Jom Gabar in any sort of these situations that you run into. A fight that's around 30 seconds or any fights that are longer than that. You really should memorize and practice your rotations for this, because it's really easy to actually realize that you're sitting there staring at these stacks of Jom Gabar as they go up instead of paying attention to what's going on in the environment or in the boss fight. But also you might find yourself renewing slice and dice at about 5, 6, or 7 stacks when ideally you don't have to use any of these GCDs on Slice and Dice. It's all on big eviscerates and backstabs or sinister strikes. So thank you guys all for watching. Also, thank you to Aromit and GD for helping me put this together. Aromit will be coming out with a new video either tonight or tomorrow, actually breaking down the tier 2.5 5-piece set and exactly how good it is compared to all of the other sets, phase 4 BIS and the Dark Mantle BIS and early phase BIS. But the tier 2.5 is performing extremely well, guys, so make sure to check out that video. There will be a link in the description. That being said, if you guys want to hang out with me on stream ever, I do stream every day of the week, usually except for Fridays, sometimes right now, at Twitch TV/Sarthe, and I'll see you guys around on the next one.